Hi guys, I'm Jason from Punt Club and we do sports betting clubs for friends. These informal betting clubs have been popular worldwide for a long time. Every football team or sports team I ever played for used a betting club to save money for our end of season trip. We would all chip in some money each week, take turns to bet that money with sports books, win some, lose some and cash out at the end of the year to spend on travel like this trip. Awesome fun, but it was done with spreadsheets and betting accounts and bank accounts and chasing your friends for money, and it was a nightmare to run. So I built an app that would fix all that. It's pretty simple. You just start a club and give it a name. Let's call this one Vegas Baby. You choose how much you're going to chip in and how much of that you're going to bet. Then I invite my friends to join my club like I would on any other social application. As soon as my friends get my invitation, my college buddies, for example, they log into our app and they can see on our dashboard at a glance how much we've bet, how much we've won, what our club balance is, how we're tracking towards our own club goal, and a private leaderboard ranks us for bragging rights. When it's my turn to bet, I'm logged into my sportsbook partner interface and we can see any sport or horse race on earth. Except at the moment, there obviously is no sport with the COVID lockdown, so the horses are still running around. If I choose this long shot Atomic Lass at 26-1, as soon as I place that bet, all of the members of my club are notified and they chime in on our live chat interface and tell me exactly what they think, whether the bet was a good idea or a bad idea. We typically sit down and watch the game or the race together. We ride the bet home because it's pooled money, shared money. And depending on whether that bet wins or loses, my mates are only too happy to tell me what they think about my betting prowess. And it's this banter that's the social glue that holds our group together, and it's great fun. I use this picture quite deliberately because the US just legalized online sports betting and you're about to become the largest player in a $200 billion market. You also behave exactly the same way. This group of college buddies pulled some money on the Mad March tournament. They won 60 grand on the title game and they flew to Vegas to blow it. Our customers behave the same way. Our business model is pretty simple. It's an affiliate model, and our 2,500 clubs generated 2.3 million in betting turnover last month at around 200,000 profit for our sportsbook partners, which generated 100,000 in cash commission for us. Our traction so far, 2.5 million real bets worth $60 million, and 85% of our customers are on recurring subscription, which makes us super sticky and super scalable, and we've banked 1.4 million in revenue. Sports betting, as Jason said, is going nuts in the US. DraftKings listed just over a month ago and is now worth a market cap of 25 billion. And since joining the launch Accelerator, we were tracking our weekly bet metrics, and we were growing 10% week on week right up until the world obviously went into shutdown and all world sport was cancelled. We panicked at this point. But off the back of the only thing that was going, the horses that were running around, our business grew and doubled in the next 6 weeks, which was super exciting. As well as making money on all these bets, we also have started doing big ticket items like corporate hospitality for our friends and groups, and even bucket list trips like this one to the Super Bowl, and also the occasional racehorse, but maybe not this one. Based on our existing data, we know that 200,000 groups will get us over 1 million users, 2.5 billion in betting turnover, and 100 million in revenue. If we double down on our sports travel and get our own betting license, we can get to 250 million a year. Our team has got decades of software design and development experience, and my board, some of which you might be watching today, reads like a who's who of the international wagering C-suite. It's simply the most fun you'll ever have investing. So buy the ticket, take the ride. I'm Jason from Punt Club. We do sports betting clubs for friends. Thanks for your time.
All right, great job, Jason. All right, investors, Charles Kim from Xtol, do you have a question for Jason?
All right, sorry, I had to mute button. Yeah, is there any legal risk with regard to these clubs? Is there, if you have, for example, unauthorized clubs, or there's some illegal money, or there's transfer of different types of money to using this platform?
Okay, Diana Anthony from Figure 8, any questions for Jason?
Can you speak to how your social platform is integrated with existing social platforms?
Great, thank you. Ethan from Venrock, question for Jason?
How do you maintain differentiation and a moat from copycats popping up?
Okay, thank you. Kristen from Threshold, question for Jason?
Yeah, what have you seen be the kind of virality of people referring friends to come and join them for kind of to join their team?
Great. Miranda from Firebrand, question for Jason.
Yeah, are you targeting any specific beachhead markets to go after in the outset? Yeah, that's it.
And Alexander from Syndicate is asking, did I hear correctly that there's also affiliate partnerships to go along with the subscriptions?
Okay, let's do it.
3 to go.
Okay, Charles, we'll start with yours, which is a legal and regulatory question, and specifically looking at the AML implications or anti-money laundering implications. all of our customers are given an ID verified account, so they have to go through the same verification process as anyone would if they were signing up for a sports book, which makes us both fully compliant with those regulatory environments and also gives us a larger universe of people that we can market to who will also start betting on their own even when it's not their team to bet for the group. Hopefully that answers your question. Dana, you asked about social integration. We've found that people are pretty hesitant to share their betting activity on social platforms. They probably will share a winning bet slip, but rarely want to disclose their own betting activity. But amongst their private group, they obviously share it through our platform pretty frequently. We've certainly got the ability for people to share a bet slip and share a winning bet and brag about it online. And there's lots of banter about it on Facebook groups and those sorts of things. But it's typically something that people keep to themselves. Ethan, I think you asked about competitors and copycats. So our two partners in Australia over time have been Tabcorp and Ladbrokes, which are two of the largest wagering companies on earth. People often say, what are you doing dealing with them? Don't they just copy your thing? It's complex. So we've got deep sector expertise. Some sportsbooks have tried to copy it and they've ended up having to shut their product down. It just didn't work and their customers kept coming back to us. So while we don't pretend for a second and rest on our laurels that we can't be copied, it is something that we're quite good at, and we look at large wagering organizations not as competitors but as potential partners, and certainly we look at that the same way with like a DraftKings or anyone in the US that is doing and playing in the space. Kristen, you asked about virality. So our model is basically based on virality. We find one customer and they invite 5 or 10 of their friends to join their group, and that peer-to-peer model keeps our acquisition costs super low. In Australia, we're paying around $20 to get a customer. In the US, the model over there is less about revenue share and more about CPA bonuses they pay or CAC bonuses. So the going rate is anywhere between $300 and $500 for one funded account. So those numbers stack up pretty well. Even if it costs us more in the US, $50 to get a customer, and we're earning $300 or $500, that's a good ratio.
Okay, great. You're out of time, Jason. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Miranda and Alexandra, I didn't get to yours. I'm sorry, but please feel free to hit me in the chat and we'll chat after that.